So we had concluded the review of the Yamas and Niyamas, but I wanted to add some kind of like two bonuses, and these are respect and humility. And so respect and humility are kind of foundational concepts that really help us to apply and live the yoga principles. Respect meaning respect for not only other people, but every living thing and even inanimate objects. So treating with reverence and respect everything around us. This creates a kind of mindfulness in our actions that is so critical and important to helping us actually practice the Yamas and Niyamas. And then humility is also really important because it helps us to see our place in the world, who we are. And true humility really just means, authentically being yourself and accepting yourself, which maybe sounds very simple, but at a deep level can be very challenging, because all of the issues and problems that we see in other people are really just a reflection of what's in us. And so once we learn to kind of, cycle that back, like if we're triggered or we see, a problem in someone else, to cycle that back and look at ourselves and then address it within ourselves by using the Yamas and Niyamas as a framework. So we can look at, is there something going on with harming someone? Is there something going on with not being truthful? Is there something going on with not surrendering? Just taking these as a guide to look at our triggers and our actions, and using that to kind of level up and improve our the way we are in the world, which is ultimately what gives us peace of mind. And that's the whole point of this for yoga. So a lot of times these kind of things are presented as moralistic, like right and wrong. And in the yoga concept, it's not really so much that it's right or wrong, it's what gives you peace of mind. And so if you are, for example, refraining from harming self and others, you can see how that would give you much more peace of mind than the opposite. Same thing about, for example, lying, right? Lying creates a lot of disturbance in the mind because you have fear of being found out, and you have to maintain this idea of what you came up with, and so on and so forth. And what often happens is that when we explain the Yamas and Niyamas, they really resonate with people. They say, oh yeah, this is very universal kind of values, and it makes a lot of sense. This is a great way to live. However, when they try to put it into practice, they run into problems. And it's not because of not accepting them, it's because of conditioning and subconscious things in the mind that really are based on our status or our condition as being based in the animal world. And so because we are physical and we have physical bodies, we have impulses for survival and for reproduction and for control. Could also be things about connection, or just how we live in the world where we don't feel that maybe those needs are being met. And so when that happens, that can trigger kind of responses that would go against these Yamas and Niyamas. So the human being is the being that has the ability to kind of rise above conditioning, to rise above instinct, but we still have that aspect. And it's not a bad aspect to have. It keeps us alive. It keeps our body alive. It helps us to survive in the world. But if it's dominating our behavior and dominating our belief system, then we will be kind of stuck in that cycle. And so if we want to get free from it, if we want to move upward, so we're not stuck in this cycle of survival, reproduction, and control, we need to go towards the higher chakras, which are things like altruism, unconditional love, and so on. And so how does that happen? Well, generally what's needed is to rewire the nervous system, because our nervous system gets wired for survival and so on. And so that's the point of the yoga practice. So there's the physical practice, the asanas, yoga postures, the breathing exercises, and meditation, which are the next limbs that come after the Yamas and Niyamas. And so through the practice of doing these is where we can actually strengthen ourselves to be able to implement the concepts of the Yamas and Niyamas. And it's a simple thing. It's not hard to do, but it takes discipline and it takes continuity. And I think that those are the challenges that most people come up against, is really sticking with it, because they're things that build up over time. It's just like if you go to the gym and you're lifting weights. You lift weights one time, you don't see any result, right? And it doesn't help to go and exercise for 6 hours one day and then not go back for 2 months, right? And so you need continuity to build up the muscles of the body. Same thing for the nervous system and for the mind. We need maybe just a little bit of practice, but regularly every single day. And that's where most of us get tripped up, because it's challenging to do that. But there's no way around it. That's what it takes. So I hope this is helpful to you and that you can implement some kind of practice.